Hi everybody, it's James of Cryptoconsh, and today we're going to look at how to stake with a good validator on the Cosmos. Look at all these bloody choices. It's not easy, is it? Let's get into it. So I want to focus on 6 variables. How much commission you pay, how much the validator actually stake themselves, downtime or risk of slashing, potential airdrops you can get, voting power and your ability to vote, and the last one, community engagement. What does a validator actually do? Validators are incredibly important to maintain the network. They're so important by participating in consensus, and they broadcast votes that contain cryptographic signatures. Ultimately what they do is they process and create new blocks on the blockchain, and they get rewarded for this in Atom. And if you don't want to do this yourself, you can give them your Atom and they will do it for you. So when we're looking at a validator, the first important thing we need to consider is commission. How much commission are these people receiving for us giving them this money? And it's very clearly labeled here. So what we first need to do is we look at the value of our staking rewards, and they are listed here, 14.87%. So if I chose a validator with 0 commission, I would actually get 14.87% a year. And these returns are paid daily. All you need to do is click here, click claim. You go through the wallet process and claim it. But to be honest, it's so small, I'm not going to bother doing it. But it would appear here in your wallet is available. And then you'll be able to spend it, stake it, do whatever you want as you please. Now, so all you need to do is have this base number for staking and then minus the validator's commission from it. That makes sense? Good. We look at the top validators. We can see that if you make this mistake, you're in trouble. Look at this. Kraken. You think, oh, it's a safe one. Yeah, I'll just put my money in there. Look at the commission. That means you get 0. Nothing. Don't do it. All right. Also, you take double damage if you accidentally stake with Kraken, because you know you're staking on here with Atom because you want to get access to all these lovely airdrops, right? If you stake with Kraken, not only do you lose 100% of commission, but these organizations that give out airdrops, they deliberately don't give out airdrops to places like Kraken. So you get double damage. So make sure you're paying attention, all right? Now, you could choose a 0% validator. Some of the 0% validators also do not get airdrops. It depends how it's defined by the organization giving the airdrops. And these guys are definitely taking a loss. And a lot of the people do that initially so that more people invest with them, and then over time they can start increasing their commissions. Sometimes it's just initially taking a loss to get a head start in the game. What I tend to do is go for fair value. I go for around 5%. But I also need to make sure I'm getting airdrops. So if I choose 5% commission, I need to times my percentage of 14.88 by 0.95. Yeah? So this removes the 5% commission, so this would mean I would get 14.136 a year. If commission was 10%, I would times this by 0.9, 15%, 0.85, etc, etc. And it's up to you what you choose, because the validators are smart people that are working hard for us. I like to give them a little bit of fluff, just a little, a little taste. It ain't easy running machines 24 hours a day. Now, another thing we kind of want to look at is actually how much do they stake? If you're a validator, right, and you've got 1 million Atom coins, how much of that have you actually put in it? Because if you've put coins in that yourself and you're a validator, that means you're invested in it, right? And it's better to invest with somebody invested in their own product. If we go to this incredible website, Minscan by Cosmos Station, I'll put the link here. We can see something quite beautiful. For Stakefish, for example, they have bonded 115,000 Atom. That's only 1% of the total value that they're holding, which is arguably not that large an amount in comparison. But when you think about it in terms of how much it's actually worth, it's actually quite a lot. Each Atom is worth 26.09. That's a considerable amount of their own investment to put into this. It's trustworthy enough for me to go for it. And obviously you see a lot of people have invested in it as well. That shouldn't be evidence of trustworthiness, but a lot of people trust it. Sometimes it's easier to be a sheep. All right, the next one's a very important one, downtime and slash risk. If we look deeper at the validator details on Mintscan, we can see that this validator has had no downtime, and it's good that this site measures it. For each coin, the rules are different, okay? And if there is downtime and these validators are not processing blocks, they get punished for it, okay? So it's very important for them to have consistent uptime. That also means they're more stable, more reliable. Now, what happens if they do have downtime? That's right, you get slashed. And the rules for getting slashed are quite clear. If your validator signs less than 5% of the blocks in a row of 10,000, they get slashed. It is 0.01%. And it's not just the validator that gets slashed, it's you. After fixing, however, this can be rejoined. So they have to make sure they're on top of it. A more severe penalty will come from if they double sign. And this is by messing up the setup of their infrastructure. Everyone loses 5%, there's an unbonding, and the validator is not allowed to continue. So yeah, make sure you're not choosing a dodgy one. The next one is absolutely lovely. Lovely, lovely airdrops. this. Some validators express on Twitter, sometimes they express it on other random mediums, that if you stake with them, you are participating in an airdrop. Have a look at this. This is my lovely, useless meme dog coin on the Cosmos. And yes, it is staked with a validator. It is directly staked with Kingnodes because they give you a craft economy airdrop. So on my original airdrop, if I stake with them, I get another airdrop. Pretty nice, isn't it? Airdrops on top of airdrops. And look at that little beauty. Commission only 5%. That's what we like. So you've got to keep your eyes peeled for those. The next important one we need to consider is voting power. Have a look at this. The top 10 validators, they control 40% of the voting rights. Stakefish having the largest amount of 6.16. Now this is a really important consideration because when you give your coins to the validator, you are essentially giving them your voting rights. So if we look at voting on the Cosmos, all right, we can see that votes have actually passed with a 45% turnout. So if you own 6% of the voting rights, actually this could be around 13% of the voting rights if Stakefish were to choose to vote on this. That's bloody huge. That's not to say that you can't change this though. You can kind of take ownership in these votes because that's the idea of Atom. It's a decentralized network. They want people that are heavily involved in the network to vote on the network to improve the network. I think it's a beautiful thing. But currently, as we see here, there's an imbalance of power with the top 10 validators being chosen. And I'm guilty for this because I didn't understand what to do at the start. So that's all I did. I felt safety in numbers. But a few things. You can see that actually some of the most powerful ones like Coinbase, they don't even participate. Kraken don't even participate. So 10% of these votes are null and void. So it makes the other voters more powerful. The ones that do participate. So these two are very powerful here, Stakefish and Dokia Capital. If they can work together, their votes can be worth around 25% per vote, which is huge. So the voting could be quite oligopolistic, nice word, where you've got two large entities coming together, joining forces and basically voting on whatever they want. Now, as I said, you can participate in the voting. So if the person you staked to voted yes, for example, in changing Evmos's name, we've only got a very low turnout on this right now. If they voted yes and you disagree, you can actually go in and vote and say no. You can change that vote. But if you don't change that vote, then the vote is automatically what your validator says. So this is why people need to be more aware of this network. It's a good concept, it's a good idea, but in truth, if it needs to run, it needs to have more involvement from people like me and you, engaging in this voting process, understanding what the votes are for, understanding what we are voting for, and why we're voting for it. There've been a lot of posts on Reddit lately about people trying to sneak in votes, having a validator friend, push it up a little bit, have low attendance, and then get rewards from osmosis pools. And in the long run, that could damage the platform if they're letting indecent entities get funded on the platform. And that's not what we want. So yeah, once you choose a validator, you can vote still in whatever way you want, okay? But if you don't vote, whatever they choose, you're basically giving them your right to vote, unless you are proactive in this. And the final one is like smart nodes or Kingnodes or many validators now, they have actually got a really strong social presence, so you know who they are. You can log on to Telegram. You can log on to Twitter. You can communicate with these people directly before you stake with them. You can see what their goals are. You can see what they're interested in voting in. You can see their participation. You can see their ideology. And you can get on board or try to choose a different one. I understand it takes a lot of time out of your day, but ultimately, if you give your money to someone you feel comfortable giving it to, it will give you a bit more peace of mind, won't it? So basically, the world is your oyster, okay? To summarize, for me personally, I look for a low commission of around 5%. I don't want to pay zero commissions because it will affect good validators. I look at how much they stake. If they stake a large percent of their own funds, they have more skin in the game and therefore I trust them more. Downtimes. Make sure they don't have many downtimes and therefore a slash risk and hopefully a little bit of insurance so they mitigate that risk for you. Lovely, lovely airdrops. If there is a bonus that fits all these criteria and gives you airdrops as well, why the hell not? Voting power. Even though you delegate, you still have voting power. Remember that. And finally, look for the community engagement. Today, to help with this video, I spoke to people at Smart Nodes and also Kingnodes and I was very impressed with their quick, intelligent, detailed responses. And I'm sure if I spoke to other delegators as well, there would be an equally wonderful response. The world is changing in a wonderful way, and the Cosmos is growing every day, and it's a beautiful thing to see because we've got really decent people behind the scenes pushing this platform forward, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. Anyway, I hope this broke down validators a little bit for you. I hope you learned something today. It's me, James from Cryptoconsh, and I hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.